I never thought schematically or, from a belief standpoint, I never thought that made sense anyway, because Wilks is more of a passive zone guy. And, Aaron Glenn is an attacking style, if you want to talk about what he was when he was with the Detroit Lions. So I never understood the merits to begin with. I just knew that Steve Wilks had been a head coach. But in his previous 6 stops, he had got relieved one and done. So it was like he was trending in the wrong direction anyway. This team has lost an identity. They need to regain that. The defense was something that we were supposed to be able to depend on.
Always
not
was.
having any interceptions. I mean, you talk about, is the reason why Jermaine is struggling or the reason why Will is struggling, is it because of the scheme? Is it because of the lack of creativity? I had never seen someone blitz so much with so little productivity from the blitzes, meaning that it wasn't schemed up to get the free hitters. And, I think it's maybe too little too late. I would have just let them finish it out. A lot of coordinators, especially a veteran, don't want that stain on their resume. You have to, but now it's all on Aaron Glenn. And, he comes from a defensive coordinator background. Whoever he hires next better be his best move, because he's going to be held accountable and saying, hey, you couldn't hire 2 coordinators in a row. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're not the right guy. So usually that's how it happens. When you start firing your coordinators, you run out of people to blame and point the finger at.
Okay, Bart. So for you, what was been the biggest difference between the defense issues with them this year than last year?
I mean, I'm sure they would say personnel-wise, this isn't the defense or the type of players that they want to play the scheme that they were wanted to play. And I'm trying to figure out, what is the scheme? Are you guys an attacking style defense? Are you a bend don't break defense? Are you a little bit of both? Are you a 4-3? Are you a 3-4 defense? I didn't understand what the identity of this team was. I didn't realize what they were trying to accomplish and what their calling card was. So, this is something that they're going to have to try and identify going forward. Can Chris Harris do that for them? Maybe, but they're going to have to go out. If these aren't their type of players, that means they're going to have to move on and maybe get bigger linebackers, maybe get an impact safety. Cisco didn't work out. We understand the trades took place, but to not have an interception is, kind of tough.
And only 2 takeaways.
Right. That's kind of tough to do. And so somebody had to be held accountable for that. Steve Wilks was the guy that had to take accountability, because it was his defensive scheme.
And you mentioned Jermaine Johnson struggling, Will McDonald. They can't get to the quarterback. What's that about? I
mean, listen,
scheme again?
Jermaine looked a lot better before he got injured, the first 2 games of the season. But, they don't play with any leads, right? So, going down 21, teams become, one-dimensional. They can still, be a run team and a pass team. Jermaine Johnson, and just watching him pass rush, he's running straight down the middle of guys. He's not working the edges. He's not using his hands. He's kind of bull rushing. That's a recipe for disaster, and they haven't been able to stop the run. And you got to be able to get guys in 3rd and long to be able to have the right to rush the passer. The Jets haven't been able to stop the run, so teams are in 3rd and manageable, where it's still play action, where you can't just pin your ears back and kind of go. So it's a lot going on. This was an issue that showed its face a little bit later than what we'd expect. Of course, you expect not to have a great pass rush without Quincy Williams in the middle, but this drop-off is surprising, to say the least.
All right, one of the defensive leaders, Quincy Williams, he spoke out, and here's what he's saying is the player's mindset after the firing of Steve Wilks.
The biggest thing is having all 11 on the same page, letting all 11 know that we had a huge part in the firing of also just letting them know like blood's on all our hands, because we're a defense together. It wasn't just him out there calling and him out there playing. Also, we got to make the calls come to life too, though. So still having that mindset of like, we gonna have to do this. Just because Harris is calling the plays, he's also not gonna be out there playing too. So we're still gonna have to make the calls that he give us come alive.
You're going to have to wear the club?
Yeah. I'm going to wear it the rest of the season just to protect myself. It's something that I decided to do myself with the fracture, so we're gonna be good with that, because, I mean, I'm a big hitter. I don't want to let my teammates down, or something happens in a game where I'm not wearing it or something and I have to get out. I'd rather finish these 3 games strong.
All right, 3 games left. You heard him. He's playing with the club on his hand. What are the challenges of playing injured right now?
Well, you don't expect to get any interceptions when you have a club, that's for sure. So he won't be adding to the tunnel unless it's a deflection.
Maybe a takeaway, though.
And he can basket catch it. But the difficulty is you don't have feeling in your fingers, right? And sometimes when you try and push some of these linemen, it'll slide off because you're not pushing with a palm. A palm can kind of, suction cup, but if it's a ball, it's just going to slide up. So he's going to have to make sure that he, tries to compensate, and that's a disadvantage. So I mean, I'm sure teams would utilize. I know if I was a running back or offensive lineman, I would smack the club knowing that it would vibrate to his wrist. You know, that's just how a game is played. But he's going to have to adjust, and guys have played without it. And I understand what he's trying to do. He's the leader. He wants to show that he can play injured, and I respect him for that. But he's going to have to get the productivity to go with it, because nobody's going to say, well, you missed that tackle or your film was bad because of that club. So when you decide to play, and whenever you decide to come in between those lines, you're responsible for your play and what you put on film.